Hello, Virgo. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. And a big thank you to all of you who followed me over here. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Virgo. So before I get started, I just want to remind everybody that I read from Sun, Moon, and Rising, but feel free to apply this message to wherever Virgo is in your chart. And please make sure that you're only taking in the messages that resonate with you. All right, Virgo. So this time you pulled Faith, Self-Worth, and Addicted. Something is happening to restore your faith and break you away from something that made you feel a sense of unworthiness, right? So your self-worth is being restored to you, but I feel like it's something that you kept choosing over and over again, right? And you're breaking that now. So there's this faith of, I can finally be free of this and not keep doing this to myself. Because whatever it is, it's making you question your own worthiness, right? So faith. This one talks about faith returning to you. But it also talks about you being more mindful about where you place your faith. Now, with self-worth, the first thing that I want to say here is that you exist. Therefore, you are worthy. Period. End of story. There is nothing that you have to do to be worthy of something. You exist, therefore you are worthy. But this with Addicted immediately said to me that this is about something that keeps happening where your self-worth is being put into question. But because of faith being restored, self-worth is also saying that something is going to be coming in because of your awareness that's now expanding through this faith, right? So people, events, and material objects beyond your frame of reference are being drawn to you. It says, aim higher, for you will draw even greater experiences into your life. Allow the energy to grow, and receiving is an action. So this is what I'm talking about. Something's coming in. You're receiving something that is boosting your self-worth, to create more of that to come in, but this is happening to break you from something. It is meant to break the addiction, right? So the quote for that one says, it's not about choosing the chains, it's about choosing them again and again. And then the sentence says, freedom was the worst of lies. I could have been a slaver or a slave, but I chose the latter. And it talks about the addiction to something, right? So that's where, for you, it's a question of what is it that you kept choosing over and over again that made you feel a sense of loss in your self-worth, right? And it could be material, it could be a person that made you feel unworthy. You know, whatever the case is, it's understanding now that you can break yourself away from it. You know, and I hate the idea of being in a place where you have to question on whether or not you're worthy of having something, experiencing something, right? It's a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of garbage, right? It's like that weed that keeps growing in the subconscious mind. All right, Virgo, your overall... The Tower. Ugh, okay. So I'm pulled. There's a part of me that feels like this is something that's already happened or it's currently happening. And it's like you're trying to navigate through things falling apart, or you feeling like things are falling apart right now. So abrupt changes, right? But again, the Tower, it's the false foundation. So whatever it is that's coming down now, it has to. But I feel like, you know, this being the overall, everything that's going on around you is all the other stuff that you're you know, having to deal with. And hopefully this is something that's going to help you like get through this phase in your life, right? Get through this moment of everything fucking just falling apart, right? Now, for others of you though, You may be creating this tower moment. You've had enough. You know it's all a bunch of garbage, and now it's all coming down. In the past, the King of Pentacles, you know what I want to say to you looking at this immediately is the same thing I said to Leo. It's unnecessary. Too much depth. The King of Pentacles in the past. So you're talking about success. But this could be about whether or not you are getting the support of somebody else, you know, because I always look at the King of Pentacles and the first thing I think immediately is that this person has the ability to give the support necessary for something to grow. But he also knows what is and isn't worth taking risks on. Now, if this is you, it's through your past experiences that you're now in this place of, I am successful. But I have to wonder, with the Tower being the overall, if some of you may have taken a risk. You know, and then for others of you, right, I mean, we're talking about earth energy here, but like I've always said with the kings, to me, it's like what's happening on the outer, not the inner. So if you're dealing with a person here, it could have to do with someone else's success, someone supporting your success, right? So we'll see. Okay. So here's what I'm feeling. And this, it could have to do with a situation where things are being put on you to take care of. The burden of security and stability is now something that you're bearing. And that could have to do with, you know, what is going on with another person, right? Because the way that you're looking at it in the past is you're looking at somebody who has the means to support you. But are they? And I say that because of this shit. You know, and the other thing that I want to say too with the Ten of Wands, and I know I've said this before, but I think it's important to point out because a lot of times we don't realize the shit that we're carrying with us and how it affects you when you're trying to get to the end of something so that something new can start, right? What do you think needs to happen? Or where do you think you need to be in order to release what is weighing on you? Now, because it's Pentacles, though, I feel like for some of you, this could be a situation where responsibilities have been dropped on you in a way where you may be struggling. But I'm looking back at this King of Pentacles going, well, where the fuck are you? Right? Now, obviously, that's not going to be for everybody, but I can't help but feel that way because we're looking at the Tower as the overall, right? But right now, some of you, and it's funny because looking back at this whole idea of you creating the Tower moment, when do you hit the breaking point where you're just like, screw it, and you let all of it drop? But that could end up being like the best thing for you, right? And then the other thing is with this Ten of Wands, it reminds me of a Zen story I heard about two monks that came up to a river. There was a woman that couldn't cross. One of the monks picked her up and took her to the other side, and then they left and continued. One of the monks was pissed off because it went against their vows and bursted out with, "Why did you carry that woman?" And then the other monk is like, "I put her down by the river. Why are you still carrying her?" Right? Bring in a little bit of Buddhism here, a little bit of Zen story. And if you've ever listened to Zen stories, I swear to God, they are the best mic drop stories I have ever heard. Future conditions. The Emperor. Control. And this is also feeling, and it's funny because the immediate thing that came to me was restriction. And then looking at, you know, addicted, right? This, I think, is leading to a point where you're turning the tables right? What has control over you isn't going to for very long. I think that is where you're at right now. Some of you may be feeling extreme amounts of pressure, and it's this breaking moment where I think that you're getting ready to just let it all go. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but I'm going back to this King of Pentacles, like, where are you? Where is this support? Now, for some of you, absolutely, it could be a situation where somebody has, lost a job, or maybe they are needing to change their career because they're not making enough money. That could be you, right? There's different ways to look at it, but the way that this is coming out, it's only a matter of time before things implode. But remember, right, remember to only pay attention to the things that you can control, right? If things are going to fall apart, let it happen. Because once the dust settles, then the star comes out, right? But this is control. And immediately off the bat, who is in control? Are you in control of how this is playing out and how the tower is falling apart? Or are you in a controlling situation where, there's the question of freedom? But I'm looking at you with this load, and just getting ready to explode and let all of it go. Your best path to follow, the Five of Pentacles. It's time to move on from the places where you do not feel accepted. And then the other thing is don't stay in poverty mindset. That's the worst thing that you can do for yourself. I understand the worries that come along with it. But the thing is there's a difference between sitting around and worrying all the time about what's going to happen, or accepting things how they are right now so that we can focus on how we can fix that moving forward, right? And I think that for a lot of you, you may have been sitting in this place where you just feel like you don't have enough, you're not having your needs met. I don't have what I need. That is the Five of Pentacles. And it may be that it's time for you to start practicing the art of rejection, right? Okay, I'm not going to stay here. If I'm not wanted here, then it's time for me to move on because it's leaving me empty-handed. I can't keep doing this. Wow, man. Let me, I need a minute here. I just got hit, oh man, if this isn't constricting and confining, the weight that you're carrying with the Hierophant being in your environment is the weight of needing to do things in a specific way. So what I want to say here is that it's time now to start looking at what your belief structures are. And if they are confining or controlling you in any way, it's time now to seek higher awareness, higher spiritual guidance, right? This is the teacher. This is where the knowledge comes through. Look, here's the spiritual teaching, but let me show you how to use it in your everyday life. Some of you, it's time to start thinking about the commitments that you've made to certain beliefs or certain structures. If you are in a situation where you're working really hard and there's too much being placed on you, right? It may be that you need to look at the commitment that you've made, because if you're not getting anything from it, why continue to do that? Or why continue to believe that things have to be this way? But these two, man, it's controlling, it's constricting, it's confining. There are the positives with the Hierophant, absolutely. But again, we're talking about the structure of beliefs and you operating within that structure, right? But this is I've made a commitment to this, right? This is what I value. This is, but maybe it's not so much that you need to look at it that way, but more of the outside the box thinking, and again, right, different belief structures. But look at it, right? What comes along with this is creating a lot of burden for you. Your hopes and your fears, the Three of Cups, if you let everything fall apart, are these people going to be here to have my back? That's what that looks like to me. Now, absolutely, right, because we're talking about fears, we're talking about a feeling of rejection, we can be talking about a third-party situation, though I don't even like going down that road. Because I don't want to be focusing on other people. The only person I'm concerned about is Virgo. But hoping with the Three of Cups is hoping that, there are people that understand you, support you, and are willing to lift you up when shit hits the fan. And the fact that you are looking at this in hopes and fears makes me think that, some of you may be fearing that you're going to have to deal with this all on your own. And for some of you, this may be where, in looking at the Hierophant, a group of people with, different sets of beliefs may be important to help you, gain some groundedness. Right? Not just what's going on in your material world, but what is happening within you too, right? Sorry, Virgo. Unnecessary. The depth of this is unnecessary. And I hope that this is helping somebody because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it and I'm looking at this tower going, oh shit, man, everything's going to fall apart. But it's okay. It's okay. This is the moment where when the dumpster fire happens, you're sitting outside with a cigarette and just going, yep, that's what it is right now. Oh, good Lord. And then coming out the Wheel of Fortune. Yay. Oh my good God, what is happening? The Wheel of Fortune and future conditions. This is a cycle that you have been through before. But now, things are turning in a much better direction. But it happens when everything falls the fuck apart. Because it needs to. Oh my goodness. The Four of Cups. Okay. The Six of Pentacles. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about with what you're dealing with in the present moment. What exactly is it that you're receiving from a situation that's leaving you feeling like nothing is good right now? Oh. Somebody is going to pull through for you. If obviously this isn't going to be for everybody, right? And interpret this the way that you need to, absolutely. But I'm going to be honest with you with the way that I'm feeling about this and what it looks like to me. The Three of Cups and the Knight of Cups, you got somebody pulling through that I think is going to be there for emotional support when things start to hit the fan, right? You may feel like everything is falling apart, but if you look, there is somebody there that loves you and supports you and is there for you and is willing to share in the emotional struggle of what you may be going through with trying to get back into control what is happening within your world. Wow, man. Okay, so the Four of Cups, right? I know that there are times where the Four of Cups absolutely can be the moment of, solace and meditation. But look at this card. Come on now. You're not seeing the good in what is being brought to you because you're not getting what you need from it. But this is where you have to turn away from those emotions to be able to see something better that, is trying to make its way to you. But looking at that with the King of Pentacles, for some of you, you may be looking at a person and going, what the hell, where's the support? It almost looks like there's a commitment for this kind of support and things just kind of, right? Now, for others of you, though, this could be about where you were in the past, where you're trying to get back into. But with the Four of Cups, we're not happy. We're not happy with, you know, what you're dealing with, what you're seeing. But the Six of Pentacles, and this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, I'm looking back at that King of Pentacles going, you know, this is where you're giving, but what is it that you're actually receiving back? And then here comes this emotional support, right? Like, let's balance those scales out then, right? If this person's not going to be there for you, you know, I care. I care, I'm here. That's the message that this Knight of Cups is coming in with. The thing, though, that I want to warn about this is we're looking at the Wheel of Fortune. So this is where you start to see the beginning of the cycle taking place again, but in a very positive aspect, right? The Wheel of Fortune. So fortune starts to come in, but the wheel is going to turn again. So whatever is coming through here, make sure that this is not something or somebody that is just creating the same pattern that you just came out of. You see what I'm saying? But I like the fact that you have this and the Three of Cups showing up when you may be feeling like you're not getting what you need from somebody who has the ability to give it to you. And again, it's not going to be for everybody. Now, in terms of work, I mean, look at it, right? Like, this is what will create success for me. But maybe, you know, you have taken a risk in something that put way too much on you, or you took a risk that left you in a place where now you have a bunch of burdens because you're not getting what you need. And looking at the Wheel of Fortune, this is an opportunity for you to stop focusing on how bad the situation is, right? Focus on a new opportunity. You know, be willing here to receive help if it does come through. But I'm still looking at a situation with equal give and take, within a commitment and an understanding that that was what was supposed to take place. Wow, man. My word for the week: unnecessary. Intuition. I'm telling you. Freedom. And truth. Very nice. So, intuition. Trusting yourself and trusting that things will always work themselves out, because they always do, even after things fall apart, right? But trust what your intuition is telling you about this situation, because it is leading you to freedom, and that is the truth. And obviously, right, the truth will set you free. But I'm looking at this need to trust yourself, and trust yourself in being able to handle the Tower moment, right? Fogged in, go slow, take time. And with the Tower, right, easier said than done. And then uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. So beneath the rubble of the Tower, you're going to find treasure, which is beautiful to see. Fogged in, right? Like, after everything hits and falls apart, when the door starts to open for a better turn of circumstances, right? Don't rush into anything. Don't go into anything with any expectations. Just go with the flow, right? And it makes me think that the best kind of like spiritual information, going back to this, would be to listen to Lao Tzu, right? Just go with the flow. Oh my God, Virgo, I hope that this helped, and I hope that this message gets to whoever needs to hear it. But I love you guys, and I hope to see you again soon.